Unity Health at Harris Medical Center, and we are always talking about the Continuity Care Clinic and what all that is, and we have a new physician resident. My friend, this is Dr. Chase Cates. Got a lot of information that he can pass along to you, but welcome to the program.
Thank you, thank you.
And welcome to Newport, Arkansas.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about high school, college, and where you've been along the way.
All right. Well, I grew up in Dallas, born and raised there all my life. After high school, I graduated and went to West Texas at Angelo State University, got my bachelor's degree there. Moved to College Station, went to Texas A&M, got my master's degree, then did my medical training in Pennsylvania and New York.
Wow.
For the last 4 years, yeah, so I've been all over.
Hey, let me ask you this, when you're in high school, first of all, when did you decide you wanted to be a doctor? When did that hit you?
I would say junior high.
Junior high school.
7th or 8th grade, I decided.
Yeah.
Before that, I wanted to be a pilot. Before that, I'm pretty sure I wanted to be a dog. So,
Is that right? I got you.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. So, you're in junior high school. What made you? Was it a class? Was it a teacher? What made you go, hey, that looks pretty neat. I'd like to do that.
Part of it is the cliche answer you'll get a lot is that you really wanted to help people.
Sure.
My mom was a big inspiration. We had family troubles, and my dad fell out of the picture.
Okay.
And she stepped in. She actually ended up adopting his other 2 kids.
Okay.
And she just went out of her way to make sure that we were happy and that she was improving the lives of others, not just me, but our friends. She took in several friends.
Wow.
And she was never in the medical field, but just the way she worked to improve people's lives was inspirational to me, and I felt like I wanted to do that to a greater degree. So I kind of settled on, if I was a physician, I'd be able to change a lot more lives.
Absolutely, that's great. Mm-hmm. That's great. All right, you're thinking about that in junior high school, and you get out of high school, and what makes you decide to go where you went along the way as you trained? Each step, what made you go there?
Well, so it actually started in high school. The one I went to had what was called a professional internship program, where you tell them a field that you're interested in, and they work and they try to find a preceptor that'll take you on and just kind of show you the ropes. And they set me up on the surgical floor of a major hospital in Dallas. So for an entire semester in my senior year, I got to watch surgeries and talk to the doctors, and that kind of really solidified the fact that I enjoyed being there, and it was right, and I didn't get grossed out by all the blood.
Sure.
So then I just kind of pursued it further, and when I went to college, I shadowed a couple of doctors where I got to see their practice, see how they did everything, go in the hospital. And that's kind of necessary before you start medical school. They want to see that you've had that shadowing experience to be able to get through. And then the master's program was more of a bridge because I didn't quite get into medical school from undergrad.
Okay.
So I did the master's program so that I was more competitive.
Okay, got you.
And even then I did an internship in Honduras where I worked for 5 weeks helping at a local clinic and helping kids on the island get reading glasses so they could see.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. I'll be darned. And then you go up to the northeastern part of the United States. Yes. Tell me about that. I mean, how'd you get there and how'd you like it?
The area wasn't bad until you get to winter.
Yeah.
And then I did my 4 years in the snow, and I don't want to do it again.
Yes,
didn't care for it.
Tough up there, isn't it?
It is. Yes,
it is really tough up there.
Luckily, I was lucky. I had 2 years of not too bad snow and 2 years where I was shivering the whole time.
Is that right? Yeah. Well, a guy from Dallas, I mean, anybody from the South that goes up north, I mean, and you experience one of those winters and you go, my goodness gracious, is it ever going to warm up? It gets hot down here and we can stand a little heat, and it's just so funny. And in our little old town right here, and when there is a chance of snow, the grocery stores sell out. When there's a chance of snow, everybody goes to the grocery store. Yes. There's a 20% chance of snow flurries tomorrow, and the grocery store sells out. But it's pretty interesting. But I guess you've had a pretty interesting run from the time you were in junior high school up to where you are today. Now, kind of tell us how you got to Newport, Arkansas, at Unity Health. Tell us about that.
Well, when I was applying for residency programs, it didn't quite go the way I wanted, so I was kind of what they call the scramble. I was trying to find another spot.
Right.
And I decided to get a little picky, so if I was making some changes to what I overall wanted, I at least wanted to get closer to my home family, so I was trying to make my way back to Dallas.
Sure.
And when I looked, I saw this opening in Searcy, Arkansas, so I contacted them saying I was interested in the program. They contacted me, and the program director down in Searcy got a hold of me and just kind of told me about the program, and I liked it. It's close to Dallas, it's close to a big city in Little Rock, which I'm used to. So it just sounded like a good fit, so I said, sign me up. He sent me a contract, and here I am.
And here you are today. Here you are. Tell me about a day-to-day operation. Tell me about the hours, and tell me what's a normal day like. How long have you been here, first of all? How long have you been?
About 2 months now.
Okay. Day-to-day general, what do you do during the day?
Well,
I know you see patients, but I mean, how hectic is that? And how's it been?
It kind of depends. So the way our program works is each month we're in a different department.
Okay.
So I'm internal medicine, and every other month I'm over at Unity Health working the floors, like with a hospitalist.
Sure.
The in-between months is more of the subspecialties, like cardiology, nephrology, hematology, just they kind of squeeze us in. So I just finished my month with cardiology.
Okay.
So I follow a cardiologist, see the patients there whenever they need consults. And today I'm starting back up on the floors with the hospitalists. So typically I'll be at the hospital from 7 to 7 or a little bit longer, just seeing the patients that come in is from the emergency room up to the floors.
Sure.
Take care of them. As far as being out here in Newport with the continuity clinic, every Thursday morning I'm here from 8 to noon.
Okay.
And I'll see patients that come in here, whether they're with another doctor that's out here and just they can't see them at their regular time, and I'll pick them up, or new patients, I'll see them here.
And I think the whole concept of the continuity care clinic is to get young physician residents in here to where you can, number one, it's kind of a twofold deal. Number one, to help you train, get a practice started, and then hopefully along the way that you've had a good enough stay that you'll stick around with us and stay. No guarantee there, but so it's been pretty good so far.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it very much.
Good deal, good deal. Now, we got to talk a little sports because we talked about sports before we got on here. Tell me about all your sports fans and who you like and who's your favorite, and we'll go from there.
Well, being from Dallas, I'm avid Dallas sports fan, everything Dallas. So I like the Stars, the Cowboys, Rangers, Mavericks. Stars, I think, are my favorite sports team.
Okay.
By far. I played a little bit of hockey when I was younger, which is odd being in the South. I mean, it's a lot bigger up north.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Stars by far are my favorite team. I got to see a lot of them growing up. Rangers, I got to see a lot of growing up.
You were telling me about earlier about getting an opportunity to get to go to a lot of those games. Tell us about that story. Tell us.
My grandmother, when she was working, her boss had season tickets to the Rangers and the Stars, and there were often times that he decided he didn't want to go, so he would just give her the tickets, and then she would give it to my dad, and he and I would go to the games.
Wow.
So I got to see, that was mainly the Stars and the Rangers I got to see all the time. So that's probably where they're more solidified. They were my favorite teams just because I got more experiences out of them.
Big sports fan. Big sports fan.
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you this, and you talk about and kind of get back on the doctorship, as I call it. You had mentioned 7 to 7. Well, I heard you say 7 to 7. It's amazing, and I think most people generally do not know how hard and many, many long hours a doctor has to work. And you guys have to do that. Talk about that.
We do. We work a lot of hours. When I'm on the floor, I mean, it's averaging 72 hours a week, roughly.
Yeah.
We see a lot of patients. And then we have to do the notes, we have to do the care, we're following up on them. I mean, there's days where the normal shift is 7 to 7 and I'm not getting home until 9 o'clock at night.
Right.
But, I mean, it can be rough, but it's very rewarding at the same time.
I'll be darned. Hey, listen, I know you're doing a great job. I'm glad you like it here, and I wish you the best of success, in your residency. And a lot of hard work, but I always say, there's always something better. And I've always been amazed about doctors, how they, in talking about how you wanted to become a doctor, and then you got to go to college for this long, and then you got to go to college for this long, and then you got to go to college for this long. I got my 4 years in, and when I had my 4 years in, I was going, whew, I've had enough. Enough. Takes a long time, doesn't it?
It does.
It takes a long time.
It does.
Dr. Chase Gates, good to see you, my friend. Welcome to Continuity Care Clinic, Newport, Arkansas. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it.